Hey everyone, welcome to my Florida butterfly garden. I'm using a new microphone today. This is my first time using it, so I hope it works well because, you know, little Mr. Ringo, he got the receiver, he pulled it, or not the the receiver. He pulled the receiver off of my phone and chewed it up. So I had to get a new mic. Clearly, it is unusable. So my daughter who lives in Wales flew in yesterday. She is here for 10 days. I haven't seen her in person in over a year. It is hard when you have a child that lives overseas and you cannot fly. So when we got to the house yesterday evening, I said, let's go see the garden because she loves the garden. And we came out and we're walking through, and the whole time I'm thinking, oh my gosh, everything feels overgrown. I feel claustrophobic. So when she was inside settling in, you know, unpacking her stuff, I came back out with my trimmers and I just did a crazy run through trimming just because I couldn't stand it. So let's go see what I did. So looking down from the patio, I had those trellises in there to keep this walkway open, and they all of a sudden felt the opposite of what they used to feel to me, but it was confining. And so I took them down and I trimmed down everything here, everything here. I still need to do a little weeding, and I need to bring out my leaf blower and just clear up the walkway. But somehow getting all of that lower just made me feel better. And the Florida Native Wildflower Garden is really filled in. But there's not a lot of flowering in it yet, so it looks very green. But it's starting to get more flowers. And I have some things in pots I might get in there and move around. So I felt better about that. And then I came up to one of the flower gardens, and I trimmed up this little garden space right here because the tall starry rosinweed, I just trimmed them, y'all. I just trimmed them. I went at them like I've been going at my hair. And they'll grow back and they'll flower, and there's still a few more in there flowering, but they won't get as tall and they'll shrub out, so I'll actually have more blooms. And then back behind my garden chair, I had this pot and there was a little pink zinnia growing in it, and it was back out of sight, so I brought it and set it down. It's in a pot down in this garden, and it's beautiful. And I also cut back the verbena in the hanging baskets, and that will all put on more blooms and grow out again, but it still has a lot of blooms. So I feel like it doesn't look as overgrown anymore, and it makes me happy. This morning when I first came out and, you know, just exploring my garden, I didn't have you with me because I thought I charged my new mic because I plugged it in, but the little connectors on the actual little microphones had tape over them. So it didn't charge. So anyway, I came out exploring without you guys, and oh my gosh, I found some little friends on my growing back pipe vine already. I'm already getting more babies. So of course I took them in. I am not gonna take as many in as I did the first time. Well, because I don't have the pipe vine to support that. Although I will admit, I did place an order on Joyful Butterfly. I ordered some pipe vine and some balloon milkweed seeds because the seeds I planted still haven't shown any signs of germinating because they're old, I think. So anyway, But let's go see some adorableness. Okay, I brought the little plant they're on out to the garden because there's just better lighting and you guys don't have to hear my fans going. Look at these adorable babies. I love them. I like those bigger ones. See how like shiny the littler ones look, but then they get bigger, like their exoskeleton looks drier, and I don't know. That's like one of my favorite stages of them. But there's not only these, there's some more over here. Look how cute. Oh, look at him putting his little osmoterium. See those little orange things look like little balloons? Oh, but he just pulled them in. It's their little defense mechanism. And look what's right here. Oh my. Oh, you guys, here we go again. Look at how many eggs there are. Oh goodness. They're probably all over my pipeline. And the problem is, I mean, I am very happy with how much this was eaten back to nothing. All of this is new growth from my last big group of polydamas swallowtail caterpillars. So I'm thrilled with how quickly this pipevine has responded and grown back. But man, if all the potted pipevine I have out and about in my garden is got eggs and caterpillars on it already, it's not going to be enough. But these are all I'm taking in. That's all I can do. I can't keep buying pipevine. I wish, like, why can't it grow fast and be everywhere like the Passiflora incense? That's what I need. That's what I need. I'm working on it though. I do have a lot, but I'll have enough to raise these guys. That's the second time I did that to them, where I let go and the leaf went flinging. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. All right, I'm gonna go move them into the lepidarium. But before I can move them in, I have some people that need to move out. There's 3 giant swallowtails and 1 zebra longwing. So I'm gonna go release them, and then I can open up the whole lepidarium and move those guys in. I also need to get some more cuttings for my spice bush. This right here is a cutting of swamp milkweed. That's right. My tropical milkweed that I had in here that I showed you in the last video. Yep, it got a case or an attack of spider mites. I was like, we are not having that in the lepidarium. So it got removed, and since I have lots of swamp milkweed right now, I can bring in some cuttings. So there's one of the little monarch caterpillars. And look who's right here getting ready to pupate on the back wall of the lepidarium. Spice bush swallowtail caterpillar. I'm gonna move these guys in right there. And then the little spice bush guys, there's still some. Let's see if there's somebody in there. Yep. I mean, we can look at these every time because they're adorable. Look. It doesn't get old, does it? I mean, look at that. Oh my goodness. I love them. Here's another one. Oh, they're so cute. This is my passiflora incense cutting. And let me tell you, these zebra longwings are quick because we just released one, right? Look at them wiggle. Did you see that? Watch. They're very active. Let me move this leaf. Watch, I'm going to touch it and it's going to wiggle. No, it's not. It was just wiggling. Did you see it on camera? There we go. And just petting it. They're active chrysalides, like they move around and wiggle if something came along and bugged them. So that's a zebra longwing chrysalis, and right there is another spicebush swallowtail caterpillar that is in its little, I guess you call it a hammock. It's sling, getting ready to pupate. So the zebra longwings that I brought in, they like pupated, were in their chrysalis, and that one was out. And then there's these guys who they're just like, nah, we're still hanging out in our chrysalides. And those baby zebra longwings that were on this plant, look how big they are now. They're such cool butterflies. I love their little faces. Let's get a look at the face. They look like little cows to me. Or little aliens. I don't know. They're just cute. And their spikes are soft. People ask a lot. They're very soft. They're just supposed to look scary. And then look right what's right here. That's a polydamas swallowtail chrysalis. So on this one plant, we've got zebra longwing caterpillars, zebra longwing chrysalides, a spicebush swallowtail caterpillar is getting ready to pupate, a polydamas swallowtail caterpillar that did pupate. It's diversity right there, right there. And I only have 2 of my original polydamas swallowtail caterpillars. These are the big ones. And then, my goodness, down here, look at how big. I feel like I just brought him in. This is my first eastern black swallowtail caterpillar. And he's huge. It's like, sir, look how big and beautiful this caterpillar is. Oh my gosh. I don't think it'll be too long till he goes and pupates. What are you doing down there? You need to turn back up this way. All the plants up here, mister. There, hold on to that stem. There you go. I need to get the frass out of the base of the floral tube. Are you on? Okay, there you go. And then here's the other one. This one's on the rue. That one's on bronze fennel. And I have to check to see if any of the eggs I brought in hatched. The babies on the rue hatched. There's one of them. And the babies on the parsley hatched. I think you can see one there. Now I'm coming out to get a cutting of my sassafras tree. I have taken so many cuttings off my poor little spice bush that I just can't take any more. So even though the sassafras cuttings don't last as long, I'm going to go ahead and get some in there for my spice bush. and the Lindera benzoin, which is the scientific name for the spice bush that I ordered. I finally got a shipping notification, so hopefully they'll be coming soon. Oh my gosh, you guys. There is a sassafras tree growing up back here. Look at that. Oh my gosh, I didn't even know it was there. I wonder if it's growing up from a root. I don't know. I don't care. I'll take it. Another one? I love it. That is incredible. I'll have to remember to check it for caterpillars. What I'll do is I'll put it in here and make sure it's overlapping and touching the two spice bush so that the caterpillars can just climb onto it. So what am I going to do with this tropical milkweed that has the spider mites? I'm going to, you can see them. I'm going to cut it all the way down and go put it out in the workspace in my garden. I know I said I wasn't going to put it out, but I don't want it in here. I don't want the spider mites in here. Except I have this little friend. So I'm going to trim off the stem he's on, which this is a Polydamas swallowtail caterpillar getting ready to pupate, and I'll hang it in the lepidarium. And then I'll cut this all the way down and put it out there, let it bake in the sun and get rid of those spider mites. So I hung them up right there with everybody else. Now, in preparation for the Polydamas swallowtail caterpillars that I've just brought in and their future needs, I have 3 of the pipevine plants still here in my garden room that I got from Joyful Butterfly, and I'm gonna pot them. So remember I switched to the smaller pots because the big pots took up so much room? Well, I'm gonna pot them so that they're ready to go into the lepidarium. And that will be a lot of food for them in one pot, so it won't take up as much space. And since I moved the giants out and they have their own lepidarium, it has really made everything fit well, and I just really like it. I'm just gonna, maybe I'll put 3 of these in and wrap them all around so they're not hanging. Go in and out. Oh, let's go around. I'll try and tangle them together so they stick to each other and don't come undone. That is fabulous. I'll just keep it here in my garden room until it's needed. I did see a little Miss Eastern Black Swallowtail female butterfly again in my garden yesterday, but I haven't noticed any eggs, at least on the bronze fennel. I don't see any on the parsley. And I've looked over the rue, and the rue needs watered. You can tell. Boy, we haven't had rain in a day and a half, and look, I'm gonna have to do some hose watering. So I bet she laid some eggs somewhere, so I'll have to keep my eyes out for caterpillars. Oh, nope, there's an egg right there. There's one little stalk of parsley growing in amongst the rue. All right, I'm gonna go take it in. I'm just gonna put it in the same floral tube with the other little parsley and the tiny baby. Remember the zinnia we looked at the other day? It says, well, take a look at me now. Look how beautiful. I think this is a cactus flowered because the petals, I think they're my favorite. Here's another one. I should order more cactus flowered seeds too and get them started. I should listen to my own advice and get my backup plants going. The Leavenworth tick seeds are blooming in my wildflower garden. Stokes aster's still looking gorgeous. Prairie cone flowers still coming up. Sweet scent is super popular with the pollinators. And look how tall my orange scepter buddleia is getting. Here's a close-up of the flowers. Guys, look, this is a monarch caterpillar coming out of its egg right now. This is one of the ones I did with the hypochlorous acid. And they're hatching, so that tells me that the hypochlorous acid didn't harm the eggs. Sorry, I'm trying to be still. Look at this little face cap. So that's a good thing. So let's see how they do on their journey to becoming butterflies. This is the first one that hatched. You can see them, they're all still in their incubator on their leaves. I'll move them on to a plant cutting when they get a little bit bigger. You guys, I'm sitting in here working on my business plants. I looked out my garden room door and there's a queen, and she just flew, or they just flew down here. There it is. First queen I've seen this year in my garden. Please be a female. It was down at the other end where my milkweed is, so I'll have to go look and see if there's any eggs. It's flying away now. No! It's back. It's on my blue milkweed. It's got to be a female. Oh my goodness, am I gonna get to raise some queen caterpillars? No, no, Miss Ma'am. Get over there on that balloon milkweed. And just in case you're new here, they can tell what plant it is from their feet. They like taste with their feet. So they just have to land on it to know. All right, she's flying off again. I'm gonna go check those, see if I see any eggs on that milkweed. Okay, she keeps coming and going, so I'm gonna go walk away. Now there's a monarch back here too. And come back later. If I find eggs, I'll bring them in. I'll do the whole treatment to them, but I won't know till they hatch if they're monarchs or queens. All right, this is my milkweed up front, and there's an egg. And I was just checking this milkweed for caterpillars, and I did not see this egg here earlier, so maybe it's a queen. All right, there's the one egg I found. I found one on the balloon milkweed, and while I was down on the balloon milkweed, I found one baby monarch caterpillar. Look how adorable. That I put in here, and I set it on top of another leaf. And then when it gets bigger, I'll move it into the lepidarium.